I'm your Hawaiian soldier, yes, my roots run deep. Oh, yes, my roots run deep, yeah. Oh, na 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 na. 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 Yeah.
Aloha, everybody.
Oh, na 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 na.
This is Monday Conversation on the Sandwich Island Social Network. And, the social network, Sandwich Island Social Network, is a nonprofit organization serving Hawaiians and Hawaiians at heart away from their island home. And tax-deductible donations are gratefully accepted. You can see right down below in my little trailer, patreon.com/Sandwich Islands 808. And you can find out information about that too. And of course, we want to remind our friends that are watching that Facebook Live broadcast is an interactive, chat-driven show. So we welcome your questions, your aloha, your how's it, brother, comments throughout the show. We would love to hear from you. I am super, super happy and really, really, how only feeling really, really good because I have a good friend of mine. My goodness, together we go back more than 1,000 years. I know we don't look that old, but we go we go way, way back. Please join me in welcoming my good bud Augie Tulba right there. What's up, Augie?
Good, Kamanga. Nice seeing you. And everybody, come on, go ahead, donate. It's so important to keep platforms like this alive and booming because we need to be connected in some way or some form. So please support. Thank you, guys. Good morning.
Morning. I know it's a little bit early. California is about 3 hours ahead, Ladette. So I know you got up early and you got yourself all ready to go. And of course, I really, really am looking forward to seeing you in July because I know that you're coming to Carson, California, and we'll be talking about that. I get a chance to see you, brother, because it's been a while. And in the meantime, some of our friends already jumping in. We get Marty Burns is saying, got my tickets for the Friday show. What's up?
Beautiful.
Brother Marty is one of our ohana, one of our regulars, and lives right here in Southern California. Local boy. He's a football coach and very well connected to the community over here. So mahalo, Marty. We'll see you, bro. I'll be there too as well. So Augie, my goodness, hard for do like one fishing line and pull all the because, bruh, you had so many hooks in the water. You had right.
I've lived a very, people always saying this, not blessed, right? But like really, it's been very, very, I've been very blessed. You know what I mean? We're writing a book right now, and the guys that's writing it with me asked me how I felt the day of the inauguration, right? When I got sworn in to be a city council member. And honestly, I had no crazy feeling because there have been so many great things that happened to me in the last 53 years on this planet. And, I look at things like, you're put in a moment to do things that either go and help people, either go and make. I always feel like I want to do more so that I can leave something, right? With boxing, with comedy, and now with being in this arena. I'm hoping that if anything that I can accomplish in the next 4 years, inspire young local girls, local boys to think big and serve your community. You know what I mean? There's so much opportunities out there to like really fix our community. And it's going to take everyday people with some common sense to bring us together, honestly.
Sweet. Here's Valerie. Valerie lives here in Southern California too. Her ohana, she tracked back to Kauai for her ohana. She lives over here in Southern California. She's saying aloha, aloha, Val. I got your text. We gotta get together. Me and you and the kind brother Steve and all. We gotta go grind. Here's Lillian. She says aloha, Augie, from the Aston Ohana. assistant.
Yes, I know the family. I used to box with family members. So
Yeah.
wow, that is awesome. What's up? That's why you guys have to donate, because this is, man, what a way to connect with people and to find out, what's happening. Because the only time prior to social media is if we got on a plane and we took some pictures. I'm like, oh, you remember this? But like, now we have it right here, in real time, and you get to say hello and give people good hugs,
Yes,
via
brother.
the computer, right? So
Yeah. Here's Tim. Tim is giving his shaka. What's up, brother Tim? Welcome,
Tim,
brother. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you, man. So okay, so let's talk. You talked about now. Right now, he's what, 4 months into being a city councilman?
6 months.
6 months.
It's Yeah, 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
Feel like 3 years already.
So let's just start. Let's just start with this now. Here we are, 2020, brah. All of a sudden, there you are. I got to tell you, and I don't know the gentleman on the left side. He looks quite, I mean, quite astute. He looks quite on it.
Yeah.
And then there's you. Now, what did you know about? Did you know anything about your opponent? What were your thoughts when you saw this was happening here?
Well, first off, I knew what I was getting myself into when I decided that I was gonna step outside the box and do something that I felt like was right. Um, I've considered running for office the last 10 years, but like I've seen what my children had to go through, with bullying and their dad being in the public eye. So it was just timing, you know. Um,
Okay.
I worked with Mayor Billy Kinoy for 2 years, and that got me
Ah,
really excited about community, because that guy loved his community. He loved serving his community, and I learned a lot in the last 2 years of his administration working in his staff. And then I was given the opportunity to work for Lieutenant Governor Shan Tsui, another amazing lawmaker. Uh, and that really inspired me to consider running for office. And then, a lot of people don't know, but, for the last 15 years, I've been really actively involved in the community, either through my daughter's foundation or always um, trying to relay a message on the importance of working hard, right? And not expecting a handout, but like look for the hand up, because that's what's going to empower you. That's what's going to challenge you to really do amazing things in life.
oh, I like
You know?
that, brah. I like that. Not a hand out, but a hand up. I like that, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
then,
and my daughter inspired me. My daughter, she runs a foundation called Brave Hawaii, and I encourage you guys to go take a look at it. It's bravehawaii.org. And my daughter did some amazing things. She won the Princess Diana Award for anti-bullying. She was able to go to Hawaii to represent us at Washington D.C.
wow.
She recently got a call to speak at the United Nations, and she inspired me. She said, "Papa, you can either use your talent wisely, as I continue to grow and learn, or you can just be like every local celebrity in Hawaii, and people go, hey, you the guy," or
Yeah.
use that as a way of reaching people and really listening, and trying to really um, represent the hardworking people in the district that I represent. 157,000 people. And the person I was running against, the picture that you just put up, he's been a lawmaker for over 20 years. He had the support of the unions and special interests. And uh, one of the most gratifying things, honestly, and you know this because you're an entertainer. And if you're an entertainer, you watching is, you like know that the people that you talking to really like you and support you, and you're looking for some validation. And I tell you, nothing was more encouraging than knocking on people's doors, because you had to, because I never had money, right? I had to knock on people's door, and they had to see my heart. You know what I mean? And there's no lying. You're looking somebody in the eye and you're telling them why you like serve. And I remember being out at Mililani, mind you, for almost 30 years in the business, I've been told you're too local. You cannot relate to any other people outside of, the west side of the island or Kalihi. And I always felt like, are you really saying that? You know what I mean? Like, about, we talk about just stupidity in the head, right? At the end of the day, we people might, what I mean? We can relate to one another if we have a conversation, but like, I've had to live through that for 30 years. And I had that when I was campaigning, like, ooh, Mililani gonna be tough because, more high end. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So one of the most awesomest thing that happened was I'm out knocking on the door, and this howly guy comes out and he goes, I'm gonna vote for you. And I was like, oh, awesome. Why are you gonna vote for me? He said, Augie, I've watched you for over 20 years make people laugh. And I know you're not gonna just uh, your your credibility is on the line. One, you've obviously shown your heart the last 20 years, and I know you're not willing to mess that up between you and I. And I was like,
Wow.
thank you. And it burned in my heart. And this is when COVID was first starting out. Now I had to go knock on doors. You know what I mean? And it was so exciting to hear people say those things. I'm gonna vote for you. Man, thank you for doing what you did the last 28 years in the entertainment business, making me laugh. And I know your heart is in the right place. So I had the most amazing time going door to door, and it really validated for me uh, the 28 years of making people laugh. You know what I mean? And that now I have this opportunity, this amazing responsibility to serve my community, and that's it. So I'm learning how to do that and still be the business Augie T, because City Council don't pay that much. I still gotta support my family, and luckily for 28 years I've had to uh, work and entertain. I've always had a day job. Everybody just know me as the comedian or the guy on TV. People don't know, like, I've always had a day job because it's expensive. When you gotta pay $10 for milk,
Yeah.
you guys know that's the reason why a lot of you guys moved away. You know, there's a
Yep.
price to paradise.
Yep.
And the sad thing is, we sit every day. 11, well, the last time I looked, 9 local people leave our islands every single day. And that should make you sad. And that's one of the reasons why I ran. That's a lot of people. That's our friends and our family, that think they no longer can live in the islands because it's too expensive. So they got to move away. And it makes me sad because I want my kids, living and thriving and doing amazing things here in Hawaii. But I get it. I understand.
Yeah. Well, apparently you got enough validation from people in your community, brother, because this happened right over here. And for those of you, for those of you that just joined us, mahalo. We're talking with City Councilman, the Ninth District, I believe, on the island of Oahu, Augie Tulba, and he made the quantum leap, and in our eyes, but in his eyes, it wasn't that much of a leap because he's always been connected with his community. And so, how does it feel now? Okay, I mean, you're now in this situation. It's a beautiful position for you to make a difference, and you've been at it for 6 months now. So, what say you after 6 months here, Augie?
I'm loving every moment. I look at every day as a, if there's no challenges or disruptions, then you're not really growing. A lot of us like the cherry pick. A lot of us love the everything's going fine and dandy, no more stress in life, but does that help you grow, right? And this job or this task of serving the public uh, challenged me every single day to want to grow as a person and to to learn and be a better leader. So I'm enjoying it. I mean, who can say at 53 they can really step outside the box to do something so out of the ordinary? You know how comfortable it could be to just being funny every day, being on the radio, or doing weekly shows, or having a cushy job that you just kind of go there. Everybody wants that, but I like the challenge. I like the fact that it gives me an opportunity to grow and be a better person. You know what I mean? And if I'm not doing my job effectively, I'll let you guys know. On Kamaka Brown's podcast, that if one, I don't have any political ambition. So if I cannot do my job effectively for the next 3 months, 3 years and 5 months, then I'm not gonna run. I have no reason to be there, and the only reason why I should be there is if I'm being effective for the people in my community. If not, I'm not gonna just be there because ooh, I'm gonna get on pension. I mean, we don't think that way.
Right.
We're business people, we entrepreneurs. We're thinking about how to support our family, and I know how to do that. I know how to do that. So I like what I'm like. What I like. I'm liking where I'm at because I understand that you can and you can inspire. That's why I say if there's anything that I can do in 4 years is if you're watching your young, aspiring local man or a girl and you're watching this, think about public servant. Think about ways you can really move your community and do it. In fact, run against me. How's that one? Run. You know,
The challenge is there, right? The challenge is there.
right?
But as you said earlier, your community service really that's not a new thing for you. You mentioned your daughter Mahia and
Mhm.
your involvement with the Miss Hawaii American Scholarship, the program
Yeah.
there, and that's not
Mhm.
something new. You've been at it for a number of years with Mahia, yeah.
Well, you guys see right in the background. This used to be my office, but now it's just a pageant room. My daughter started pageantry, when she was a little girl, and it really helped mold and shape her life. And as she started Brave Hawaii, uh, she saw the need of empowering young women, and through her platform, Brave is an acronym to be respectful and value everyone. And
Wow.
we do a pageant every year. We're taking our little island pageant nationally in July of 2022 to Florida. And if you're watching and you want your daughter to participate, we have a scholarship that will give you an amazing discount on the entry fee. But more than just that, um, we are community service driven, right? And it's not a pageant, a beauty pageant. It's for girls who want to take Brave and share it in their school, in their community, about being respectful, about valuing everyone, aloha, and using the crown as a sash as a way to be examples in the community. So if you guys are interested in that, that's my wife and my daughter, and that's a huge task in itself. You know, uh, MissAmericanScholar.com. I'm there as an executive, one of the co-executive directors, but it's to move the program along because there's a need, and it's a great way to get your daughters. Or we have a Miss division, so you can if you're not married but you have children, you can, find a cause that you want to have, you want to speak on, and wearing the sound and the sash and the crown helps a lot in talking about your platform and doing great things in the community.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Mahalo for sharing that. I did want to make sure that we did cover that. We did talk about that
Okay.
because I've been tracking that over the years as well, watching your daughter grow and the things that she's been doing. And, you know, that cannot come from a better source in terms of having loving, caring, supportive parents, you know, you and your wife. Having come up, and especially with you, and you know, it's already documented. You know, kind of a tough life coming up, Kalihi side, and all of that. And you wanted to break the cycle. You know, you wanted to get out of the cycle of dependency upon, I don't know, EBT cards and food stamp and all of that good stuff, right?
Yeah, and you know, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Like I said, you know, it's a hand up, right? Is to get you to the next step.
Yeah.
Use that as a way of like bettering yourself, you know, and not just
Mm.
taking. You know, I remember I was a young boy, and I would always look at people in the area that I lived in. I lived in public housing, and I would see them come up with nice cars. And I tell my dad, Dad, how come they get nice cars? And my dad would just look at me and go, because they're liars. I go,
Work in the system.
yeah, what are you talking about that? They're liars. I like one nice car too, but we're not gonna lie. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, my dad had a fourth grade education, you know, and when I talk about a hand up, that's what I'm talking about. My dad never liked one hand out. They just needed some help, and some people need that help, and I
Mm.
believe in that, and I support that, you know, because right around the corner, there's some kid like me that goes, I appreciate what these guys did for me, and now I'll like give back.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the whole meaning of why you get public assistance. It's called public assistance.
Go figure.
Public. Let me keep giving you. Let me keep enabling you. Let me
Yeah.
keep enabling you. No, it's assistance. So
So,
anyway,
so Augie, you've been almost 30 years in entertainment business. So it'd be radio, television. You got a couple of movies under your belt. You just finished uh, the Aloha Surf Hotel. What is it called? Uh,
yeah, Aloha Surf Hotel.
Aloha Surf Hotel, right? Because I was talking with Branscombe Richmond not too long ago, and because we had him on our little paina over here when Finding Ohana
Awesome.
came out, and we are talking about that. So Branscombe was so kind to come on and talk with us. Great conversation from his home in Maui. And over the years, you've met so many people that have crossed paths with. I have someone that's asked a question here. Maybe you can address this.
Okay.
Let me see. This is a friend of mine. His name is Nate Jones. And Nate goes, how's it, Augie? Remember seeing you when we worked Kapiolani Hospital in the 90s. Hawaii lost an icon in the sports and entertainment industry the other day, Robert Kikaula. Do you have any
Yeah,
good memories of him? Robert Kikaula. Hey, thanks, brother Nate. Good to see you, bro.
Nate. Yes, absolutely. You know, I was trying to find the framing uh, with Lanai and I um, doing radio. Nobody wanted to come on the show with us, you know, because you know we were breaking all kind of rules, and you know we are doing something different on radio. And Robert came up, and we asked Robert if we could have something from him. We would ask different guests if we could have something so we can put on the wall as a memorabilia. And Robert Kikala gave us his bibbities. He gave us his kamaka. He gave us his bibbities, and I have that framed. It's in a it's in a very big frame that's someplace in my garage, right? And in a certain part on the bibbities, Robert signed all nuts, and he put his name. But uh, lots of great, like I said on my post. I mean, we had so much fun times laughing and having great conversations. And you know, just before the election, I auditioned to be uh, the weather and traffic guy at KITV,
Oh,
and because I was getting into the whole uh, political scene, they opted out not to, bring me on. But I remember having that conversation with him, you know, uh, almost a year ago in his office, and we were just cracking up. And some of the things that I've done that uh, that he just like there's one time at the Nahuko Hano Hano Awards, I did something that was so like out of the box, and I could only hear Robert in the back laughing. Everybody else was quiet. I was laughing because he knew what I was doing. Uh, but like that's the kind of yeah. Robert was an everyday guy. I mean, what you saw, what you get is what you saw. You know what I
yeah.
mean? What you saw is what you get. And that's what I appreciated about him, man. He made me laugh in many conversations. But that piece, and I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna find him. By the end of the week, I will find. It's a big, and it's when he's on the road. So,
Oh,
yeah.
that's a great one. Hey, mahalo Nate for that for that question over here. So let me just throw another picture up here, and I'd like for you to share because I know that these two brothers were definitely um, an important part of your comedy growth and your evolution. Talk to us about Andy Bumatai and Mel Cabang.
Oh, of course. I always tell Mel was the first person that really give me like on straight blunt uh opinion about my stand up, right? Andy made me his opening act, and I'll tell you guys the story of how Andy and I met. One, the first time I saw Andy Bumatai, I was in the fourth grade. I went to an Yvonne Element concert on Maui. Had no idea who Yvonne Element was. Had no idea who Andy Bumatai was. All I remember is watching my small Filipino auntie singing, "If I can't help you, I don't want no." And all I keep saying was in my head, like, "Why am I here?" You know. And I was complaining because I wanted Andy to keep going because it was the first time I saw somebody who kind of looked like me, right? Outside of what we saw on TV, making over 1,500 people laugh at the same time. And that blew my mind as a fourth grader. You know, I sat there and I was mesmerized by the fact that somebody that looks like me can do that. And I became a fan of comedy that day. I started buying all the records. Booga Booga, Frank De Lima, Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor, because of that man. That man when I was in the fourth grade. That other guy right there who I miss hearing his voice. He would call out of the blue and go, "Big boy." So this he was saying big boy, I already knew. Uncle Mel, Uncle Mel, what's going on? Big boy, just checking in, see how you doing, And I miss those calls. I miss uh just his sarcasm, but early on he told me, stop acting, be yourself on stage. And I could never understand I was just doing it for like 3 weeks. Andy brought me on the road with him, and I was just following along. And Andy had asked the DJ if I could go on stage. How's that? Never had to. I went out for 5 minutes, and obviously I was raw, not that good, but like I was putting on a show. And now said, "You're gonna be good one day. Just be yourself. Stop acting." And this is a guy who I already was like, admired. I know my mom and dad used to go watch in Waikiki, and I used to hear all the stories that they said when they would come home, how he would do all these crazy things. And I and I always tell him about that. We always talked about that moment, but you know, about 5, 6 years ago when we put the team together to do Nali of comedy, uh, we just became all good friends. More than just entertainers, we became like friends. You know what I mean? Like, mind you, guys, these guys been in the business total together for almost 60, 70 years. And very rarely you saw these guys together because they were all competing and, going up for the same audience. And it was so, for me, surreal, one, to put this show together with the guys who I admired. You know what I mean? The guys who paved the way so that I could do the things that I could do. And it was just an unbelievable time of friendship and growth and just lots of laughter, man. You know, and Uncle Mel, I mean, I get footage. Andy knows this. Frank knows this. We were doing a documentary as we did Nali. I get stuff in there that I gotta wait till these guys die before I play. Frank is like, "Don't you play that?" I go, then I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till you guys. I get, you know, it's amazing, amazing bunch of footage that we have of the behind. I mean, the behind the scene was a lot more funnier than what you guys saw on stage. You guys know what to expect on stage, but the conversations off the stage is what I think you guys will have a better understanding of why comedians are so complex, and why we just everyday people who use our talents and our blessings from God to uh, to connect with people, and it was an amazing couple of years just being around, all of them. Frank De Lima, I worked at a wine, and he hates this story, so I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell everybody.
You're not gonna wait until he die. You can tell him
No,
now,
no,
bro.
no. So I meet Andy at Kapiolani Medical, and maybe if you watch some of the old podcasts or you guys, and I'll skim through it really quick. But I was already in the game. I was MC the Honolulu Comedy Club. I was working with Andy, but I still had to work on day jobs. So I was working at the Kapiolani Medical Center, and then I would take my moped and go 5 minutes away to a wine cellar in Kaimoki. And one morning, Frank De Lima comes walking in, and I go, "Oh my God, it's Frank De Lima!" And maybe he was having a bad morning. Maybe he just never like have a conversation. But I go, "Hey, Frank, I started doing this. How do I, get to the next level in being a comedian?" And he looked at me and goes, "I don't know." And he walked. So and he said the reason why he did that is because he came in, he was all, he never like see people. He just wanted to grab his stuff and leave. But that's Frank De Lima. That's Frank De Lima. He hates it when I tell that story. He's like, because Frank is such a nice guy, such a good, heartwarming guy, and he goes, "Okay, you make me look like a bad guy." I go, "No, I understand. I get it. It was a bad morning, Frank De Lima." Andy has a special place in my heart. Like I said, you know, young boy watching somebody that looked like me perform in front of you know a crowd like that really inspired me to become a comedian and then to be mentored by him, right? And it all happened because I was working at Kapilani Medical Center and his wife was having a procedure done that was uh, difficult. And here comes this goofy kid, you know, uh, in the middle of the night coming out of the elevator. And he was doing, I think, Raven at that time. He had this cowboy hat on, and I went, I didn't die. But I never do that. But inside was like, so I walk away and I walk back. I did this about 5 or 6 times, and he just said, "You like talk? You can talk with me. We can talk stuff." Because obviously, right? And if social media was big back then, I would have my camera.
Some selfies,
You know,
man.
yeah, but no, I never have on camera. So how do I find the moment? Who gonna believe me that I bumped into my idol at Kapi'ani Medical Center, and we ended up having this conversation. I I told him how much I love doing comedy and that I started working at the. I think that's where I met you, Kamaka, at the Honolulu Comedy Club. Uh, and of course, Andy was very cordial and he talked. But if you talk to Andy, he probably tell you that he thought he'll probably never ever see me ever again. And he actually wrote my very first real joke. You know that?
Wow. Wow.
And
No.
he said, "What are you working on right now?" And I said, "Well, I'm working on this bit because I live in Kalihi, and that weekend somebody fell in the elevator shaft in KPT.
Oh, jeez.
Okay? The guy fell. He lived. The guy lived, and Andy thought that was a funny premise. He said, "Oh yeah, it's because they were doing Samoan bungee jumping." Except the guy was Filipino, and he had 2 birds under his arm, and the fall wasn't that bad. That was like my first real joke. And, uh, so
Yeah. You and I, Paulo Gata, Kehao Baijo, Kehao,
yeah,
Lanai, right? We all were coming to open mics on Kapahulu Avenue, the Lizard Loft upstairs, right? Where we all kind of just did a little 5 minutes, and Andy was always kind enough to give us notes. And I think for myself, he would always say, work clean.
yeah,
It's important. He told me, he said, you know what, bro? We all adults. We all know the words. He said, but you can take people to the bathroom, but don't make them look in the toilet, bro. And I never forgot that because he said we could do adult humor, but you don't have to get there and go blue with that stuff, right? And I think for you, that's also been a something that you've never forgotten too, because you work clean, Augie. You know?
yeah. And that's why you see comedy now, and it's almost like the way you gotta get an audience is you gotta shock them, and you gotta use these words to get people's attention, right? And we grew up in a different time where, like, it was important that you were clean because you're not only representing yourself but your family. And nobody like hear that kind of stuff. I mean, we can do it privately in our house, but nobody like hear that kind of pila on stage. I mean, some people do. I get it. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of anything free speech when it comes to entertainment. I think it's super important that you allow people to speak. Uh, but for me, taking that advice was big because that not only supported my family, but it made me to the person I am today. And very honestly, being aware of your audience, knowing that you can work with all kinds of audience, not just one audience, but all kinds of audience. And prior to the pandemic, I talked about slowing down on comedy because I started seeing that climate already. Like the only way to be funny is to be shocking, or the only way, you gotta go on video and you gotta do this and that to get people's attention. And I'm 53 years old. I don't need to do that. I did that.
Yeah.
I put on the wig. We all did. We all, you know, did
Put
the
on the wig.
stereotypes, and it made people laugh. Frank DeLima did it. Boomatai did it. Booga Booga did it. Everybody did it. You know what I mean? But we live in a different time, and
That is so true, bro. Put on the wig. I love it.
so yeah. So and because of that bringing up in comedy, I understood that we were talking to everybody, not just a selective group of people. And comedy brings people together. I think that's the biggest thing that I got, even at 9 years old, in the fourth grade, hearing Andy, he connected with everybody, right? Including a fourth grader from Kalihi. That's how I knew that what we're doing is so powerful, so uh, so much healing to people, especially right now during the pandemic. You know, when we're locked up and we haven't been able to interact. I just did a show in Vegas a couple weeks ago. 600 people packed, the auditorium, which I will be going back to because I signed a 2 year um, H4 agreement with the Palace in Las Vegas, or the Plaza in Las Vegas. But people like laugh, and people like feel like, you know what? I'm not gonna be offended when I hear that guy talk because I know his heart, or there's nothing to be afraid of because he's not that guy. And I appreciate Andy for explaining that to us early on.
Yeah.
When we
You
started
know
doing.
what happened, yeah, Augie? I guess this was 2018. Andy is kind enough to ask me if I'd join him on a West Coast tour, and we went from LA all the way up Oregon, up in Washington, and we were in San
Awesome.
Francisco, and we did a club in San Francisco.
Mhm.
Nicely done, and we had parked about a block away from the club. So he and I were walking. I got my backpack. He got the, you go get your money from the club owner, whatever. He's coming back with the envelope. Yeah. So we're walking up the sidewalk, and behind us there's a couple, and I hear the woman say, excuse me," and so Andy and I kind of side eye each other, like, okay, what now? And so I said, just keep walking, bro. We just keep walking like we're never here. So we keep on walking, and then she goes, excuse me, excuse me. I go, oh, we gotta stop. We gotta stop. So we turn around, we smile, we go, hi, hello there. We were just at your show. Oh, well, good. And my husband and I have two things we want to say to you. I'm going, okay. First of all, thank you for not swearing. I went, oh, thank you, because we're not prudes, but we just think you can be funny without swearing, and you guys were funny. So, oh, thank you very much. And the second thing, and this is in the middle of Trump, all this stuff was going on.
Yeah.
You guys didn't get political because it gets so divisive, okay? And it just felt good. And so thank you so much for making us feel good. We appreciate it. We said, well, thank you so much. And as we walked away, talk about validation. It was like, yeah, that was a validation we needed.
Never. Yeah, that's just something that I've been blessed to stay away from. Even in this environment where I'm, serving the public, I keep that separate, and I've been working really, really hard to let people know that you can live out your dreams and making people laugh, like in my position, but serve your community. And I think comedy has always been a platform, for me, and for people like yourself, Boomatai, as a way to connect with our audience, not using the F words and keeping order. I mean, it's just people tired of looking at that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm sitting in a city council chair and I'm tired of hearing it. The you know, but what we do is so important for a lot of people like that couple. Thank you. Thank you. You made my evening, by doing the things that you guys do. And that's why I love doing it. And, I was like thinking about slowing down, but, I signed a deal with Stand Up Global, and I have a comedy special coming out in October through the Dry Bar Comedy Series.
Nice.
And it's nice to know that people appreciate, what you did, what you're doing, and what you're going to do, and still be able to serve your community. I'm excited. I'm excited,
We get
honestly.
we get Auntie Hetty over here. Auntie Hetty and Uncle Larry real close to me as my ohana. Augie is a Farrington High School governor's grad. He's a governor.
Can I share a story? So, uh, maybe 15 years ago, they put up a mural in the library of
That's
all the influential people that attended Farrington. You know, Karen Kiavi, Hawaii, Governor Ben Cayetano, Emita Mimbong, Joe Onosai, And then on the right hand corner of the mural, that Augie T. So we asked to come to do the dedication of this beautiful mural. And like school, I never paid attention. So I thought I needed to be there at 12. I really needed to be there at 11. So I come walking in at 12, Kamaka. Emmett Bong, Governor Cayetano, they're all looking, right? And they're like, oh my God, he's late, like how he probably was in school. So I walk in and go, Augie, would you like to say a few words? I go, of course, of course. I go, what an honor, right? To be immortalized today in the library of Farrington High School, a place I never went to when I was going to school. Everybody just, like, it's so awesome, like, to be amongst the greats,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's so funny. We never have a library.
Marty says, "Wow, Auntie Hetty, Farrington High School get plenty talent. You, Jesse, Augie, yep, come up." And here is here is Auntie Hetty says, "Augie's auntie Nadine and I are childhood friends."
Oh my God! Yes, yes. My auntie Nadine. They all went to Farrington. I have family. So I know your family. I go, which one?
Which one? Here's Thyra Abraham. She's one of our supporters and supports the Salmon Island Social Network. Hello, aloha Thyra, aloha Augie. Mahalo
Tyra.
for all the aloha you spread all over the world. So sweet. Hi Thyra. Thyra just had on birthday too. She so how old is Laha now, Thyra? She was down in San Diego with in fact her son Frank Abraham works with Lanai on Hawaii
Yes,
cooking.
of course.
So that's
Oh,
Frank Abraham's mom right there. Yeah.
oh man! If Frank is watching this, aloha, Frank. You. I want to go back to Aloha Surf Hotel. You know, me and Uncle Brascom, we always laugh at this. I think what we did was special, and if we had Netflix money, I think people would have seen something that was funny. I think people I gained 20 pounds for that role because I wanted to look like the big surfer guy. Uh, and it's such a great story because we win. We win in this one, and unfortunately, with COVID really helped up because we were planning on going to the West Coast, showing the movie, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed because we're trying to get Netflix. Because I think one of the beautiful thing about living in the middle of the ocean and having this kind of technology, we can now spread what we already knew we have and why people continue to come to our islands. This amazing uh, aloha that we have. We're not perfect, but we do have this amazing aloha, and we have stories to tell that resonate with a lot of people. You know what I mean? And I
Wow.
think that's why we can continue to do what we do, Kamaka, make people laugh because it's not just a Hawaii thing. You know what I mean? Because we all have stories of crazy uncles. We all have stories of gay children. We all have stories about the itchy auntie. We all get those stories.
It's true.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're from Nebraska. It doesn't matter if you're from New York City. There's a common bond. And you know what the common bond is? Being human.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Um, wow, Augie, it's amazing how the hour just goes by so
I
quick over
know.
here. I wanted to talk about Booga Booga, but you know what?
Yeah.
We gotta do this again, my brother.
Yeah.
We gotta do part two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sit down and talk story and have a conversation. Now, I do want to, just for this moment over here, not forget that you are coming to Carson, California. My ohana, just beautiful, beautiful family, the Ka'io Foundation, Uncle Lincoln and Auntie Sissy, Annette, all them, the Napoleons, Nappy and Bo Napoleon, all beautiful, beautiful people, and part of my extended ohana over here. So Augie's coming up. Now this poster says 7:10, but I believe it's two shows. They have the 9th and 10th, Friday and Saturday show.
Yes.
And there is right there, you can go to the kaiofoundation.org, kaiofoundation.org to get your tickets. Pick up your tickets. I'll be there. Marty already said he got his tickets. So many of our friends will be there, and we get a chance to see you, Augie. Don't worry, leave happy. And that's Garen's Barbarians on, on that. And again, kaiofoundation.org is where you can enjoy information or get information about the show that is coming up to see Augie, Councilman Augie Tulba. And I think,
I do a disclaimer now.
oh,
I do a
okay.
disclaimer. I tell people for the next 45 minutes to an hour, I am not the councilman.
Oh,
I am comedian Augie T.
okay. Okay.
Just like you're not dressed up as a doctor today. That's your job. You come in
Okay.
as you. So, yeah, no, but it's just funny that you got to do that so that people then put two and two together like they love to do and criticize you because
Okay.
they're putting them together when it's not even close. And like I said, if it's anything that I can accomplish in the next 4 years, is to tell people you can serve your community and you can still do the things that you love doing. When we get common sense people in government, we have common sense solutions, which should be always about people, right? And the needs of our people. And we're not perfect. We're not correct all the time, but it takes a special kind of person. And there's a lot of you watching right now that can step outside of your comfort zone and to serve your community. If not, your neighborhood board. If not, just put a group of guys together and go clean the park. Go do a community watch. It's so important. It's so important. I remember the days where if you cut grass, you remember, Kamaka, your father told you go cut the grass. You're thinking that's all you have to do, and your father go across the street, cut the neighbor's yard too. What?
Yeah.
All I go play. Shut up. Go across the street, cut the grass.
Go cut Auntie's grass too. Go cut Auntie's grass. Yeah. Yeah.
What happened to those days where you just did it? Just go do them. And we become, squealers instead of helping each other. So we had a big task in hand. But like I said, I'm enjoying every moment, and I'm very appreciative for the last almost 30 years now of making people laugh, and there's going to be 30 more, believe me. As long as there's stupidity in the world, this guy on the block, I will talk about it because I think it's important. Yeah, I think it's important.
I'm going to quote you on that. As long as there's stupidity in the world, it still work for us comics.
Absolutely. Yes. We're the only guys that really do, bring it out to the light, but in a way to bring people together, right? We have
True.
common bond.
Yep.
Common bond is we all think that it's stupid.
Augie, mahalo, brother. Thank you so much for being a part of our Monday conversation here with the Sandwich Island Social Network. Love you, brother, and look forward to seeing you.
Hey, donate, you guys. It's important. This platform is important to getting the message out and supporting Brother Kamaka because this is how we connect with people. This is how we show our true love for our island, for our culture. So please donate, you guys. And so we continue to have this platform. Yeah.
Thank you so much, bro. We will see you on July 9th and 10th in Carson, California. And I shared with you, and I'm going to do this one more time over here because I want everybody to know this. Once again, the kaiofoundation.org, kaiofoundation.org to get tickets for the show. I only got 2 shows now, Friday and Saturday, July 9th and 10th. And I believe Napatui is going to play. We enjoy the music of Kevin Napoleon and Tui La Tui. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful music. Going to be happening over there. All right, man. We're going to say aloha no and mahalo. And to all of our friends, we want to share with you this coming Friday for our Aloha Friday show is going to be more interesting conversation with island people, island hearts. And this coming Friday is Henry Kapono is going to join us. Henry Kapono is going to be coming to California at the Coach House. We'll be talking about that. So join us, please, on Friday for the Aloha Friday show right here with the Sandwich Islands Social Network. Mahalo, everybody. Have a beautiful day, and we will see you guys soon. Hang in there, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Aloha.
I just want that LA good vibe. Yes, I'll take that cheese with that California wine. Just a good intention of having a real